Hello, this is Abby.
Dear Abby, this is gonna be a long one.
Oh boy.
Dear Abby, how do you tell the difference between a new exciting crush and a rebound?
Does it matter?
Dear Abby.
Dear Abby.
Dear Abby.
Welcome to our little corner of the internet. This is the Dear Abby podcast. I hope you stay and hang out with us. See you in a sec. Hello everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Dear Abby. I am your host. My name is Abby. Welcome back to today's episode. Today we have a very special guest. And
hey.
She's been on before. I told you. I'll tell you when to come in.
Oh, sorry.
She is...
Speak when spoken to.
I have an introduction for her, which may sound official. She is my sister, but we'll get to that. But first, more importantly, she is an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't technically work for anybody. She works for herself. Okay. She's a successful creative, an amazing storyteller through Instagram and other creative platforms. She is a successful podcaster, a very successful podcaster.
Wow. Wait, did AI write this?
AI helped me confirm facts. I was like, I don't really want to look up all of the facts about this, but with her best friend, Chelsey Smith, with over 480 episodes, over 20,000 reviews, with an average of 4.8 across all streaming platforms.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm learning something new.
It's very impressive. 20,000 reviews is a ton of reviews. So, and 4.8.
All amazing.
Yeah, except for the lack of the 5. So there's 0.2 that you probably think about every once in a while.
Yeah.
And she's toured across the U.S. doing live shows.
Wow. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling like so official.
I know. Well, you are, technically, so.
Yeah, I think I should probably consider myself that.
Doesn't, yeah.
You see that fly in here?
Yeah, I did. Did I miss anything with the podcast?
No, you nailed it. I didn't even know half of that. So
yeah.
Amazing.
But you guys can fact check me if you want. I'm pretty sure, but unless ChatGPT fed me incorrect information, I think that's all correct.
Don't
Sounds
fact
correct.
check. Just believe.
Just believe it. Just let it go. Okay, and then most importantly for me, selfishly, is she's a mom of 2 of the cutest boys in the world, a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. And she made me an aunt. And she's a wife, a mom, an amazing one, from what I can say, being on the inside.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. She is a gardener of her flower patch, her little flower patch on the front of her house. And did you have any other gardens?
It's crazy.
What is it called?
It is
a garden bed?
No, yeah, it's tiny. You would think by the way I talk about it, it's like literally a huge garden on an acre, but it's quite literally one little garden bed, window bed.
That's what I was trying to think of what it is. Mm-hmm. I could only think of garden patch.
It patch is accurate, honestly.
Yeah, it's just a patch.
Sounds like so
big,
so immature.
Oh,
amateur.
Are you wanting to garden more?
Yeah, if I had a huge garden, I would love to. I've thought about getting a big raised garden bed in my backyard. I would love to have like a huge, garden. Like some people have their whole backyard is just a garden.
Like a homestead almost.
It's almost, yeah.
Without
you walk
animals.
around. I'd have ducks in there.
You'd have ducks?
Yeah, I'd have ducks because they eat the slugs. I'd have everything just planned perfectly.
Have the
a trellis.
To till the ground. Don't they do that? They peck it or something?
I'd have it all.
Okay.
A donkey.
You have a
to
pretty
fend.
big backyard. You probably could do something like that. I'm not done with the introduction. Okay. She has a keen eye for style and fashion. I think if you didn't podcast, do you think you could ever see yourself being a stylist? Would you have enjoyed that?
Yeah.
For like celebrities or something?
For sure. It's hard though because I've been learning that I don't really do it. Like, I don't really care what they want. Like, I'm like, this is what I like. So wear it.
Oh, okay.
But I think I could learn to...
That's part of it.
Yeah, I think I could learn to, cater to someone's style.
Well, because I think most of the time...
Or I would be an engineer, probably.
Of what? An electrical engineer?
I'd just be an engineer. Whatever that means.
A software engineer or electric? Okay.
No, I'd be like just a figure it out engineer.
Okay.
Problem solving engineer.
I can see that. That's like hands-on. Do you like hands-on stuff?
Sure. Like I'm pretty good at problem solving.
Are you being serious about the engineering
I'm kind of joking because it's like,
But I
if
could see you
listen to
being
my
an
podcast,
engineer.
it's like, of course not. But and that's an insult to engineers worldwide. But also, I think I could, if I had more foresight into, you know, my gifts, I think that would have been a way to go. Not a software. I'm not like techie though. And maybe
Yeah.
that's all they do nowadays.
I can
But like, I can figure
confirm.
out things.
Okay. Like an
Like a
electrical.
detective.
Or that, like a private investigator.
Yeah, but then you have to be a cop first.
Not a private investigator.
Oh, okay.
You don't carry guns or anything, I don't think.
Well, I want
don't
to carry a
think.
gun.
You basically, most of the
I'm
time,
carrying
you
two
just,
right now.
you're just looking at, you're trying to find people who think their spouses are cheating.
Oh, I would love to do that.
That's what I mean.
Oh my
That's,
gosh, I
I
would
could
love to
see
do
you
that.
doing that. That would be kind of a sad job, but also pretty satisfying to catch.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you could catch them with a picture or something, and then you hand it over, that's satisfying.
With the confidential
Yes.
manila
Yeah, that would
envelope.
be cool. You probably, yeah, that would be kind of crazy. I've actually seriously considered doing that at some point in my life.
That would be awesome. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, houlda.
Yeah, I mean, still technically could have. Is that the guy from or girl?
It's a girl.
I keep thinking it's a
Love
guy.
Island.
Is she the brunette one, the dark-haired one?
Abby hasn't watched Love Island, obviously.
No, because I'd have to buy a freaking $10 subscription. I'm not doing that.
And I don't know my password, so I'll figure it out.
You
I'll
could just
reset it so
click
you can
forget
watch it.
password. Yeah, so you just click like 3 things.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last thing is I just put random things that I know that you like. I think that you like.
Nice. Very manipulative.
She also loves to read fictional books about history, normally with the female protagonist, if I'm not mistaken. Is that accurate?
That's very true. Historical fiction is what they call it. I don't know what AI has been calling it lately. Fiction. That's
AI didn't do that
historical.
part either. AI doesn't, respectfully, AI doesn't know that much about you specifically, okay, and doesn't know what you like. I don't think AI is that advanced where it can go and scan someone's
It doesn't know my
Instagram stories.
recently purchased from my Kindle.
Yeah.
No, historical fiction novels, yes, with a female protagonist. That's very true. Love it. Learn a lot. And
It's normally very depressing.
yeah, I love it.
Circumstances with like a female hero, right?
Yeah, it's just a real life journey she goes on, which is very cathartic to read.
Am I thinking of only one book or is there multiple books?
No, there's multiple books.
Okay.
I read one author, Kristen Hanna, and a lot of her books are female who is in a historical time period who goes through something.
Okay.
Family, just like kind of her whole life. And a lot of the times, again, it's like with a significant historical event, yeah.
Like the Great
World
Depression
War II,
or
Great
something.
Depression. I read one about like Alaska in the 70s.
What happened in Alaska in the 70s?
Just like how,
I don't know anything about that.
what's the term? Just people moving out there and wanting to live out there. And that's kind of when it started to like tourism
like settlers
and stuff.
in
Yeah.
Alaska. I see.
Well, more like tourism, yeah.
Oh,
Not
okay.
necessarily this. Yeah, kind of. They moved out there. It's a great book, The Great Alone. Everyone should read it.
And it's the same author that you normally read?
Yes, Kristen
Okay.
Hanna, amazing books. The Nightingale, best book I've ever read in my entire life. World War II book, so good. But I also read another one about, the one that got me into historical fiction novels was A Girl Called Samson. So good.
I think that's the one that you told me
Amy
about
Hammond,
a
I
long
think.
time ago.
So good.
Yeah.
It's giving Mulan, but Revolutionary War.
That is still on my list of
It's really good.
books to read after I'm done with The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. But now I'm on The Hobbit, which will take me another. I'm not paying for the bigger subscription for Spotify, so
Yeah.
I only get 10 hours a month. So I can only read as much
Dang.
as 10 hours allow, which sounds like a lot.
That
but,
is
you
a
know,
lot.
It's not that much when you're reading Lord of the Rings books
Yeah.
or long books because it's like there's
It's like 3 days
yeah.
if you're listening for a couple hours a day.
And I would listen during work. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
there
you're
for 8
screwed.
hours, so it's one day and I'm like,
You're screwed.
okay, I could go through so many books.
Ever heard of the library? You can just go buy the book. at
I
the
know.
library.
I just don't
Or
like to
rent it.
read.
Oh,
I listen, but I should probably read.
yeah.
Do you feel like reading has helped your comprehension skills, or not really? Like like if you hear something, like your vocabulary has expanded,
Yeah.
you can understand quicker.
My vocabulary for sure with the Kindle is amazing. You can hold the word that you don't know
And it looks it up?
looks it up and it'll tell you. So you're learning new
that's
words
nice.
all the time.
Okay.
But you know, there's a lot going against my processing that it has to keep up with. So I don't know if books will necessarily like cure that.
Average it out.
But it is good, I think, for my brain and my eyes.
Okay, so going back to
Me.
your history. Okay, I said this, right? That Chelsey's my sister. I'm sure most people, she's been on before. I don't remember what we talked about last time. I think we talked a lot about being sisters, which
Sisters. I thought you sang on this podcast. There were never such devoted sisters. I knew you did. You're weak.
But we it's the sibling
Rivalry.
no, it's the if one sibling starts to say something or make a sound,
A vocal stem.
yeah, every other sibling starts to join in.
Yeah.
And it's just one harmonious
Choir.
sibling choir. She's my older sister. I'm the younger sister. Did you ever wish that you had an older sister? Do you ever think about that or not really?
You know, sometimes I'm like, oh, that'd be fun to have an older sister. But
Not really. Yeah.
not really.
I
I'm
get
happy
it.
with what I have. Do you wish you had a little sister?
Yeah.
Like really bad?
No, I think I remember when, I don't remember this, but Mom told me that when Jess was born, our youngest brother was born, I wanted it to be a girl so bad because I wanted a baby sister, and I was sobbing.
Yeah.
Still feel that way. That's why I call him Jessica. Just kidding.
And that's why I said, trust me, it's not that great.
Yeah. So yes, but I don't ever think about that anymore.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I feel
I'm an adult now. I don't think about that stuff. And then, but we won't talk too much about being sisters because we already talked about that. But if you wanted to listen, there's an episode a long time ago. So I don't think I ever said what your podcast is, mostly because I just assumed that everyone who's listens to me also knows your podcast, but maybe I shouldn't, but I don't know. The podcast is what we said. You do it with your best friend, JC, who is now technically my sister-in-law.
Yeah, it's
which
crazy.
is weird. And anyways,
We're all connected.
we're all weirdly connected now.
Like, it's weird that my goddaughter is your niece, but it's not my niece.
Yeah, that is weird. It's also weird that
Like,
technically,
what? How is that possible when we're sisters?
you're and JC's kids, not that they would get married, but if they did, it would not be that weird because they're not related at all. But,
Yeah.
But because I'm related, it's too close where it does feel like cousins or something, even though I'm not, there's no blood relation.
Yeah, like Queso would be like, hey, I'm marrying your niece.
Yeah.
But I'm your nephew.
Yeah.
That's freaking weird.
That's freaking weird.
Yeah.
That is very weird. With the podcasting, you do a lot of story things. You guys talk about literally a billion different types of things.
Yeah.
How do you do it? Just kidding. But how do you actually find stuff to talk about
Scrape
still
the bottom
after
of the barrel.
after was it like you started
7 years.
7 years.
Yeah, that's a great question. But also, you know, people just
Don't
talk
have
their
an answer?
entire lives, you know? Like, there's things to talk about every day. It's not
That's
like
true.
people just like when they turn a certain age, they're like, man, there's nothing else to talk about. It's like, there's always something new.
Yeah.
There's always something to talk about again and again. Even if we say the same topic, like, I still feel just as excited about the podcast and like talking about certain topics. Like, I can't wait to get on the mic. Even for this, I'm like, I have so much to say.
Well, that's good.
Maybe that's just a me thing. Like, I cannot stop talking.
I
but-
think it might be just you.
Yeah, I think so too.
When you guys come up with episodes, how organic does that come about, and how like much is there?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I
I
mean?
know
Like
what
the
you
thought
mean.
process before it.
Yeah. Like, we're just spilling
Or
with
are
ideas.
you guys, can you guys just talk so much back and forth that it's like, you're like, hey, let's talk about this. And then you get there and it's just like, you can just talk about it.
We can, I think, because there's two of us. So it's like, I may come with one thing to talk about, but someone can hear what you're saying and like take one bit of it and create a whole nother topic from that. And then the other person is hearing that and they take one little part of that and create something. And then you're just going back and forth like that.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because you're able to listen instead of when you're the only one talking, you're just talking. It's hard to have time to now think of the next thing to say.
Yeah. So you guys basically just, you have
We just riff.
basically a plan, but then you guys kind of just.
Oh, yeah.
wing
We
it
have a
little bit, too.
topic usually. I mean, very rare. Well, not rarely. Sometimes we have a topic and we're just talking about other things. So we're just like, well, we're not going to get in the topic 45 minutes in. So let's just keep talking about whatever we're already talking about. But coming up with topics, we like to have something like even just for the title. Like we like to have something that's like you know,
a focus. So
Yeah.
it's not just total chaos.
Yeah, and something that's new, fun, exciting for us to talk about, like something to go off of, to jump off of.
You're going on
Stack.
tour, right? This
Yep.
year. Do you get nervous still from going on tour?
There are way more moments I'm not nervous than I am nervous.
Really?
But I do get a little bit nervous if I'm like spiraling
It's just
into
one of
like,
those days.
oh my gosh, what if just the worst case scenario happens or something?
Like if you say something and then you get canceled and then the podcast goes.
Yeah, like
down
I
in
just do.
flames or
I just
something?
literally, I'm not even myself on stage, and I'm just doing something so stupid, or like I
Oh.
bombed just so bad, like. But
Yeah.
also, it's so different. I think because I compare it to when I used to sing in front of people all the time or dance in front of people, it is so less scary than that because, or so much less scary than that because singing and dancing, you're performing, and there's like something you have to hit. You know. It's like you have to
There's a
hit the
mark.
routine. Yeah, there's
Okay.
like a song you have to sing, and it's obvious if you miss the pitch. There's no like improving really. With this, it's literally just talking to a group of girls who already know almost everything about you and your humor, and they get it, and they
already
also
like
think it's
you.
funny, and they already like you. It's not like going to a random group of people and being like, I hope they understand my sarcasm.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not like
they get
stand-up
it.
comedy where you go to a random club
Yeah.
and then just start from
Oh,
scratch.
could never do that.
I was going to say, could you ever do
That's
that?
so different. Like, I think I would do that for exposure therapy. I've actually thought about that just to be like, not that I think I'm funny at all or could do that, but just to like, oh my gosh, this fly, I thought it was going to get in my
That
face.
flies all over the place. There's a lot of trash everywhere.
Awesome. No, it's one singular fly that's just kind of making sure we see it every 10 minutes. I probably would do that for exposure therapy and just to like challenge myself and to do something absolutely terrifying.
That would be terrifying. Why stand-up comedy has got to be the scariest
The
thing
most
somebody
vulnerable
could
thing
do.
you could do.
Thinking that you're funny and
I would
saying
rather
it in front of
stand
somebody else.
Naked on stage, like butt
Yeah.
naked, then get up and try and be like, I wrote these jokes. I hope you think they're funny.
Yeah.
That is terrifying.
No,
Like
those are
it's
brave
so bad to
people.
it's so scary to let people know you're gonna try to be funny. Like, hey guys, I'm about to try to be funny.
Yeah, and then you don't want to act like you're trying too hard, but you also don't want to be like,
Then I don't even
Careless,
feel
'cause
funny.
then-
So then I'm just like,
yeah.
so no, I don't get that. I don't get that nervous for tour, honestly.
But have you had to work on, because you've talked to me about improving before, and
Yeah.
that's like basically what your shows are, is you have like a scheduled, like, okay,
Yeah.
we're going to talk, or we're going to answer these questions. I don't know. I forgot. You do like submissions, but all of this is live and you don't rehearse.
Mm-hmm.
You don't rehearse anything. It's not like a rehearsed, like line by line thing.
Not
it's
really.
Improved.
Yeah, most of it.
Was that
Yeah.
like hard to like,
You know,
was it natural or did it
sometimes
take a while?
it really depends. Again, the crowd is usually amazing because it's just all of our listeners. So it's like an amazing crowd, the best crowd
Yeah.
we could ask for.
Milking
If the
it,
crowd
milking
is a little dry, like I could see it being like,
Yeah, it gets really quiet when it's quiet or
yes,
something.
I will say there are always going to be like one or two things that I will say and it just doesn't hit. And it's like, but the thing is you have to try and be animated. Yeah, and it just doesn't hit. And you just move on and it's
just
like,
bounce
okay,
back.
on to the next one.
Yeah, then you just hope the next one hits.
Yeah.
Or one of them does. at
Yeah,
least.
or it's like, oh, that wasn't funny. Awesome.
Did you take any improv classes or anything?
I went to
prep
an
for it?
improv camp
You did?
yesterday. No, when I was little. Do you not remember that?
The mom put you in clubs?
Yeah, she paid for a year-round club.
Extracurriculars?
No, it was a summer camp. A couple of our like neighbors were doing it. I
Huh?
think I was in like 5th grade. Maybe?
You did that?
Yeah.
It was like I had no idea.
It was like a 2 or 3 week, maybe month-long summer. I think it was like 4th or 5th grade. You didn't know that?
You went to an improv. I can see you doing that young.
We learned improv.
That's funny.
And then we all tried out at the beginning we all did a play. Like we did improv and then it was like we did a play, but it wasn't like this super serious thing. It was like a
right, you're in
camp.
5th grade, so how?
Yeah, and there's all these different ages. We did like a funny Rapunzel and I had like not a good
That's
part at all.
awesome.
Like I was not good. But it was good exposure to like try and, be on stage and
That's funny. Do you have memories from that camp then, or not really?
yes. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, of course you do. You have good
I
memory.
had a huge crush on the counselor.
Of course.
Can't remember. Like
He
he probably was a 2.
Yeah.
But it's like he's
Yeah.
a 18-year-old
He's
kid.
old. Oh, he's a
and
man.
I'm 10.
Yeah.
Just
That's
googly eyes.
crazy.
I have like memories of eating hot Cheetos and like this cute guy that was.
Okay, I see the fly now, and it is starting to bug me a little bit. That's not how it works. You go like this.
Oh really? I thought you go above
No,
it.
I'm actually not kidding. You go like this.
I thought you go above it though.
No, you move slowly, and then you go like that.
Okay, well you can do it next time.
No, seriously, I will. If it lands, I'll show everybody. I'll show you all.
Anyways.
Okay, so you went to improv.
Yeah, I went to improv camp, but I haven't done anything recently. I've thought about it, honestly. I've taken a master class from Judd Apatow. Excuse me, just burped. Sorry if it wafts that way, but his master class was really good about comedy. It was more about like storytelling because he's a director, so it was about storytelling and
he's a director, as in like of movies.
Yeah, like
plays?
comedy movies.
Oh, okay.
I think he wrote The Hangover and a couple other movies.
Okay.
That was great. I want to take a couple more master classes just to like kind of catch a vibe. It's just good to, even if it's not something new, you learn to be reminded and to like get your ideas flowing and just get like
Yeah, I think
you don't want to go out there and give bare minimum. Just be like, I didn't really prep for this. I think it's good.
I feel like with improv or anything like that, that's live. That's like a whole different breed, and I feel like you have to exposure. I feel like is the only way to do it. Is just by doing it.
I think because I think
there's a mental block before that.
I think because I did dance growing up and I did singing like after college or during college, like a lot of performing. I feel like it was the lead up to this.
Yeah,
like it prepped me for this. It makes it seem easy, honestly.
So do you have fun doing it then?
Yeah, I have so much fun. Like I just like crave the stage.
That's good. That is so not. We're so different. I do not like the stage. That's like it makes me want to curl up in a ball and die. But I feel like
I bet you do good though because it's like it's a different thing. I honestly something just clicks and it's like, okay, these people came to have a good time. I want to make them have fun. I want to have them leave inspired. I want them to have them leave entertained and have a fun night. Like a lot of them found babysitters to like come out here for the night. Like I want to make them have fun, whether it's just like laughing at me, laughing with us, like laughing at the story, feeling cute in their outfit, whatever it is. This is the whole experience.
Yeah, some people are just entertainers though. Like for example, Keaton and I saw someone on a run the other day and he had a drumstick in his hand, like to play the drums, not like to eat. A drumstick in his hand, a rear view, like a fisheye mirror that like cars used to back up or, like those big circle mirrors. He had one of those in his hand. He was running and he was hitting the drumstick on the thing. He was an in shape, normal looking guy. Like he didn't look like crazy, but he was running and he would hit it. And then all of a sudden he would toss it, do like a flip, catch it, hit the thing with the drumstick, like make a sound and be like, woo, yeah. And then continue to like keep running. And we saw him. He was in workout,
running. Like running.
Yes,
close?
He was running.
Maybe he was practicing. Maybe he's like a performer. Like that's part of his
I know.
workout.
And I was like, some people just like, the thought of doing anything performative and opening my heart chakra to anyone makes me want to like, it makes me cringe.
Physically like show. Yeah.
No, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, and that, but maybe if I got over that mental block or something.
But we're not like really with our bodies,
well, that not
kind
naked.
of with our bodies we're doing something. That's what I mean though with singing and dancing. It's so much more vulnerable. You have honestly.
It is like a full body.
Yes, it's like you're gonna be able to judge right now whether I'm really good at this, really bad at this.
Yeah, which is a good exposure.
And if I practiced enough,
Yeah.
So this is much better. Much different. You could do it. You could do a live podcast.
Yeah, I guess. I guess. Okay, so now we're going to transition a little bit into what I normally talk about on my podcast, which is mental, emotional, spiritual, all of that health stuff, which can be very nerve-wracking on going onto a podcast and opening about anything, because it's just, you just never know how it's going to be received. I even still feel like that when I talk about my mental stuff, because I don't want to be judged for it or like have it be used against you in some way, you know?
Yeah.
My listeners are safe, basically.
Okay.
I hope so, because they've heard, I mean, I have really bared my soul. I have almost every intrusive thought I have probably shared at least once on this podcast. But anyways, I wanted to ask you questions about your mental health.
I'm happy to answer them. I mean, yeah.
Are you happy
I'm like,
to answer that?
and if any of you guys snitch,
I actually don't know too much about, I mean, I
My
do know
brain.
some things about how your brain functions, but I feel like I don't really know that much about how experience
I'm doing.
anxiety
yeah.
or like where you're at with that and when that started. So I want to take everyone back, and I just wanted to hear kind of when you started to get anxious. And it could even be back from your childhood or whatever, just like any things that kind of come up. And then maybe when it started to get bad and when it peaked, where you realize like, okay, I don't think this is like healthy. Like I think I actually need to work on something or take action somehow.
Okay. Well, I don't specifically remember anything. I remember a lot of our childhood. I've talked about this. Like I remember I have so many memories. Like they're just in a filing cabinet in my brain, and I can like pull them out if someone like says something. Like even you talking about improv camp, I haven't thought about that in years. But like I can like picture so much of it. I remember having certain like anxiety themes when I was younger that now I can see maybe, you know, rearing their ugly heads again, that I didn't for a while. Like my anxiety would jump from theme to theme. You know?
It just kind of popped up where you're like, oh, okay, and then it would subside, and you're like, oh, it wasn't ever a thing.
No, exactly.
It wasn't real.
Literally exactly that. Like when I was little, I think I had a lot of anxiety about my loved ones dying.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that should be normal, right? Isn't it? No?
I think just as a little kid,
ruminating on that at night in the middle of the night, calling home to make sure everyone's okay. That's not normal.
No,
right?
Definitely. I don't think that's necessarily normal.
Yeah. Well, those are the earliest memories I have of like feeling anxious. Is like I remember us going to grandma's house. Remember we stayed there?
Yes, and we helped her rake rocks all around.
Without mom.
Yeah, I remember that.
Just me and you stayed there.
Yeah, I actually do remember that.
Yeah. We stayed there for a couple nights, and like I remember I slept in my own bed. Was literally it was like kind of late, maybe. It was like 9 or 10.
Yeah. It was probably like 8.
And I remember trying to find the home phone in grandma's house so I could call home and just being like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared that like mom or dad is dead. Like I've got to call and like make sure. And I'd call and it'd be the voice message. I'd be like, please answer.
Oh, that's so
and
sad.
I'd be like, hey, just like let me know everyone's okay.
Just
like
let me know you're alive, please.
And then in the morning I'd feel fine and be like, that was silly.
Well, that was crazy.
Yeah, which I don't know when that went away necessarily, but I don't think I really experienced much of that in like high school. And college, like I feel like I was pretty,
it just kind of went away
in la la land. Yeah
But
then I feel like it kind of went to health and like body image I started getting very anxious about, which would cause like obviously like eating disorder or disordered eating and just things like that would cause me to be like super black and white about things and like you know, get obsessed with things. So that would cause me to be anxious. So went to therapy for that. Was like, great, figured it out.
Cool.
See ya, anxiety. Then we moved to, after we got married, was really when I like went to therapy and got help for it. Because it was like a big change too. I feel like when like big life changes happen, I feel like it gets spurred. Like it comes up. Maybe it's like a lack of control or something.
Yeah, probably.
So after we got married, that's when I went for like my disordered eating stuff. Because I was like living with someone. I'm like, okay, of these habits not so healthy. When you live with someone, it's like very apparent that, you know, the things that you do maybe are not normal. So I went to therapy, was doing great, really working on it, and then we moved to LA like 5 years or 4 years into our marriage. That kind of spurted again because it was like about money and just like in general I was having this anxiety of just like something looming,
like impending doom.
Yes, just like what's something horrible is going to happen. not even necessarily like death or health related, but just life in general, just like, oh my gosh, money related, things like that. And then I kind of worked on it. Then I worked with JC's dad, life coaching, and would like talk to him and was feeling better again when I was like really working on it. I feel like when I work on it, shockingly it helps.
Yeah, for sure.
And then was literally fine, like doing great until postpartum with Case. It all came crumbling down. I really felt like this huge, I mean, I think it's natural when you become a mom, you just like crack open and shed a lot of like your old beliefs and just your old self. You're just like, oh, okay, I'm a new person. Like, who is this? And now I have this person that I love so much. Like, whoa, what do I even do with that?
Yeah.
Like, what do I do with that? So I think a lot of like the intrusive thoughts came postpartum, like baby blues, but mine happens like a little bit after. Like, it's not like at the beginning. It happens like 9 months in. I start to feel really like anxious about things. I start to latch on to little things, and whether it's like health related, existential related, like how can
the least fun.
Yeah, like how can I control everything, basically.
Yeah.
Kind of got better, honestly, for a little bit. I got pregnant again and was like, I don't know, I wasn't necessarily working on it, but just kind of
Surviving.
Yeah. I was doing good. Like, I wasn't feeling it as much. But then after having Elwood, I started having it again, and now it was double. Now I had 2 people to be freaked out about. So then it really, I feel like, started to become a noticeable pattern of like, okay, I'm getting so, I can't even trust my brain sometimes. Like, I would see things and be like, okay, is this an intrusive thought? Did this actually happen? Like, I literally don't know if I'm being irresponsible and not doing something about this, or if I'm like going crazy. I don't know. Crying on the phone to mom and her being like, I think you're okay, whatever. And then the next day being like, that was so dumb. Like, I'm good now.
Yeah. I never have to worry about that again.
Yeah.
And then when it does, you're like, what is wrong
now
with
that
me?
I've reassured that worry, I'm good.
Yeah. I'm sure another one will never pop up.
I'm sure everything from now on will be great. That's literally how I was like expecting to feel. Plus sleep deprivation and all of that.
Oh, yeah.
But then I got pretty sick. Like, I was getting like this rash, and then we had mold in our apartment. And before I even knew about the mold, I had like the sickness, and like I had the flu for a long time, and it was like longer than other people were having it. So then I started to really panic about my own health, and that's when I started like Googling all these things, and it was just like, and then I started doing that all the time, like with myself, with my sons, with Nick, literally with anybody. And I was realizing I used to do this with Sophie too. And so I'm
Really?
like, okay, there's
It's
a
a
pattern.
pattern.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like when Sophie had IBS, I was just like, it's got to be worst case scenario, spiraling, can't move. Like, I would be like, oh, her tummy's rumbling. It's over. Like,
Yeah, she has cancer
She
or
has
something.
something. Her stomach's turned, whatever that is that dogs get. And I could not do anything. Like, I just would like sit and like Google and try and like reassure myself, or like, oh, we got to get into the vet right now to like make sure they can say, okay, everything's okay. Like, I cannot sit with this. And so I remembered like thinking that and be like, oh, that's funny. I thought I was like fine. But yeah. So now, honestly, I wish I could say it never happens. It's definitely lessened because I think via your podcast, via mom, via the Dare book really helped me with those. Like, just what I was really were like anxiety attacks. And
where it was like a million miles per hour.
Yeah.
Like you felt like you were gonna literally implode.
I would
basically.
like, it was kind of similar to how I would get when I wanted to binge, when I had a disordered eating, like when I had an eating disorder, because
like it had to be now.
Yes, I literally would want to go hide, like, oh, go to the bathroom and like Google and like reassure, like find reassurance immediately, like soothe myself in like an unhealthy way, pretty much.
Yeah.
What is that? Just kidding.
So what actually does that mean?
So what do I have? So yeah.
Not a therapist at all. I'm like,
Like,
actually,
so
that sounds like OCD.
No, I have been thinking recently. I'm like, maybe I do have OCD, but I don't really know.
Who knows?
I don't know for sure. I feel like it is obsessive, but I've been learning how to luckily I know from you, like the reassurance cycle and like exposure therapy and things like that, that it's like, okay, the longer I sit in this uncertainty, the better.
Are you getting anxious talking about this or no?
Actually, no, I'm
Okay,
not.
that's
I'm not
good.
right now, but
So I don't want to make you anxious. But
I don't know. I don't have good breath regulation.
yeah, that's okay. Neither do I. I have to be like.
And it's funny because, anyways,
he just hasn't breathed for like 30 minutes.
my lips are purple. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I feel like I've gotten a little bit better. It's definitely not all the way there, but when I work, the littlest things make the biggest difference. When I take like a little time in the morning, literally even just to like journal or like breathe, and I do the same at night and I'm just present, it helps a lot. When I deleted TikTok, my health anxiety specifically and like my existential like death anxiety also got a million times better.
Really?
Because it wasn't so in my face all the time.
Yeah, it wasn't like, you should do this, you shouldn't do this, you should do this.
Yes,
this.
and it wasn't like, I don't know, on social media you just see all of the worst case scenarios all the time.
Yeah.
And once you start engaging with it, you just get a bunch of them. So I literally had to delete TikTok because when they banned TikTok, that one night alone that we didn't have it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a big difference of like, I'm addicted to this. Like I am literally addicted to scrolling. So I had to delete it because I was just like, and it was so much better. I started reading historical fiction novels and that helped my anxiety so much because I feel like it helped me process in a long-term way. And it was like a way to feel the uncertainty with, because they're going through such depressing real things where it's like they are experiencing war and very scary
existential
times.
threats, basically.
Yes, like very scary real things, and you're with them while they're coping.
Yeah, no, this totally makes sense. I understand.
And it's like it was a healthy way for me to sit with uncertain emotions, but in a digestible way.
Slow process. Yeah, no, I totally understand.
So that really helped me, honestly. Like, once I deleted TikTok and started reading at night, I felt so much better. I felt so much more resilient. And that's what I've been trying to be, is like just more resilient with it. Like, I can't say I'm perfect. I was spiraling earlier today about something. But the other thing is I have to be careful about finding, like, I was telling you, like ChatGPT can be reassurance in its own way.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like healthy reassurance. Maybe.
To clarify, I really don't believe that reassurance is all bad, because I do think as humans we naturally need to be reassured sometimes, and comfort, and that is not
like
bad.
Peace of mind.
But it's when you go to the doctor once and you're like, but maybe I didn't tell them this symptom, and then you keep going back and back. So if you're going to chat and then it's like you tell them and then you're like, but maybe I missed this, and then you go on the same chat thing, open it up, and say more.
I actually did that today.
Okay, then I
asked like 15 different questions.
That's where it,
because they're like, well, if it's this and not this, and I was like, well, but
what do you mean?
Yeah, but
what do you mean?
But when you say that, what do you mean? Because I guess maybe I didn't tell you this much. Oh wow, okay, that makes that makes me feel better.
Sorry.
No, it makes me feel better, honestly,
okay.
because I'm like,
you don't have
again,
to keep doing
I
it.
just want to be able to trust myself. It's not even that I want the worry to go away. I just want to be able to trust myself, because when this starts happening, I literally said to ChatGPT, I cannot trust myself. I don't know if I'm seeing things, or I don't know if like the symptom is actually real now, because I've been going back and forth. I literally have got like, we'll go to a doctor, make an appointment, see something, and like be like, okay, yeah, and feel good about it, and then I'll go back to it.
Yeah.
And then I'll like obsessively check it. And then once I feel fine about it, I'm like, okay, well, what's next?
There's a lot of pain that can come from when you don't trust yourself, and when it doesn't feel like you're allowed to be okay with where you're at in terms of your senses. It's sometimes with a lot of anxiety, it is like, okay, I'm seeing this, but like, am I seeing this correctly? Or like, if I hear this, okay, did I hear that right? And then like you keep second guessing, and then when you keep going down that, then you just like further tell yourself you can't trust yourself.
Yeah.
Because for some reason you might not feel like you're supposed to, but you can. But it's like that is like a whole process and learning thing on its own. Like that's something I still have trouble doing, is trusting. Like I have to literally tell myself I can trust my senses. If I'm getting something wrong, then I will deal with it when I like when it comes up. But before that, I just have to trust that this is like what is real.
Yeah. I know. It's actually very hard, especially once you're in the spiral.
Yeah.
Like once I'm in
Yeah.
the spiral, I literally cannot decipher like, okay, wait. What did I feel at first? Like what was I first feeling?
How did we get here?
Yeah, like why am I now feeling worse? Is it like what is it stemming from? Because I don't know what to trust and where to go. But ChatGPT, honestly, like sometimes it will say like it will offer not just like it will offer like sound assurance, but it will also be like if you're feeling like this, it's normal. Here's some things to like say to yourself, or like here's some coping mechanisms, you know.
Chat is amazing.
It's amazing. It's scary.
No, it is scary. No, well, that's the same with Googling or any type of
Googling
reassurance.
is worse though to me because
too many things pop up.
Chat will take your history into account, and so it
Yeah.
will take what. With Google, I'll just like lose myself in the Googling. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even remember what I was thinking or like feeling at the beginning. Chat will be like, well, you said this, so let's take into this with this, like these symptoms that you actually have, and this, like, let me remind you what the actual, like it will literally compare it. But again, I think when you're spamming, it doesn't really matter. You're just like, but am I being honest with it?
Yeah, or is the source that it's pulling from even accurate?
Yes.
Is their data accurate? How can I trust
Yeah.
anything? And then it's like, you're like,
Yes.
I can't trust
No.
anything or anyone.
Literally.
I know. That's literally how
How
it
do I know?
spirals.
Something
So-
that helps me, I don't know if this helps you too, but with health anxiety specifically, or just even like death anxiety or existential anxiety, when it comes to, I feel like motherhood really brought that part of me out, where it's like, it makes sense that that's the theme
Yeah,
I'm
totally.
experiencing of like
Totally.
protection. Really,
Yeah.
that's what it is, like protection of my kids, protection of my family, like me, my husband, my kids, my dog, whatever. The thing that helps the most, honestly, is once okay, the dare response is great. Like I do that sometimes.
That
when I
helps with like
remember.
initial things coming on, and also when you're at such a crazy place or when you feel like you're actually losing your mind, that stuff like that is so helpful to just come back kind of like to neutral, and then usually there's more work after that.
Yes. The other thing that really quickly like helps in the moment is once I start doing what ifs, is to name every single what if of like something horrible happening, and then I kind of go, okay, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I
give up.
I can't even,
then
no,
happen. Let
literally.
it all happen.
No, literally. Like I'll be like, okay, well, I could have a million different things. This could happen to me right now. The world could explode. The sun could explode. Like the ocean could consume us. Like there's so many different things that I feel like I'll start listing them.
Yeah.
Of like actual ways you can die, and I'm like,
It's
literally
endless.
the chances I'm alive are actually crazy. Like I cannot. Why am I so stressed about trying to control like the safety when I just need to let go?
Yeah. And you literally
control.
cannot control it either, which is why it is.
But the little part of you that thinks you can is really hard.
And that's really a strong part.
Because you can control some things, and that's the problem. Is sometimes I'm like, am I being irresponsible?
Yeah.
Like I want to feel like I'm doing a good job and being responsible, and like, you know, what if I can save it, or what if I can help it?
Mm-hmm.
What if, like, I don't want to have regrets of like, oh, I should have done this. But after like the literal 300th thing, I'm just like, Mama's tired. Mama needs to take a nap.
Yeah. Oh, you said like 9 months postpartum or something is when you started getting more of the symptoms. The more research I've done on postpartum, I'm not saying you have OCD, but depression, anxiety, any of that is usually around that time anyways.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
So I think it's just, honestly,
according to your research, when does it go away?
yeah. As much as like I hate having any type of mental illness, it's something that it does kind of show you. Sometimes I think we're scared to face these really hard parts of us, or these like really scary things. But then once we do, we realize how much more strength and how much more of the positives that we have that kind of almost can consume those things, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But I think what you listed is
OCD.
the last thing. Yeah, I think I'm gonna diagnose you.
Do you have a whiteboard? It's like, she has OCD.
That's what I do with people on my podcast. I just diagnose. I'm not
Everyone
even a
in the poll below. What's her mental health?
Hey, let her know if she has OCD, depression, or anxiety. Chat, let her know.
Literally.
Let her know 1 to 10. How debilitating is it for her?
And does she actually have anything life-threatening?
Do you think she's actually going crazy? Let her know in the chat.
They're like, yeah. Like, honestly,
Yeah, okay.
valid.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. No,
You wouldn't
seriously.
be the only one in the family.
Yeah. It is crazy. I'm like, the
You
hard
really
part
thought
about...
you wouldn't have any mental stuff, huh?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I feel like I was the first one to be like, oh, I think all of us have a little something.
Yeah, you
Or at least I do.
I feel like you have said that before. Because I remember we thought we were like cool. We were the cool family. And then the older I get, I'm like, oh.
I think we got a little screw
bit
loose.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we don't say screw
Oh,
loose.
sorry.
I'm just kidding. Okay, so you think the things that, because obviously mental health is a continued journey. It's not just like, okay, you're recovered from anxiety. Congratulations. You never have to worry about it again or whatever.
Like that.
Yeah, it's just like, it just is part of life. And it's like,
But
not
the
that
thing
it's
that's-
constant, but it's like
Yeah.
the reaction to it can be different. Your experience with it can be different, but we can have a lot of fear and hurt in us. And I think that's
Yeah.
just where it stems from. And there's just, life is uncertain, which isn't bad.
Yeah. I do think that the thing that gets me, it can go both ways. The thing that makes me more frustrated and like, okay, when I first recently like started experiencing the anxiety super bad, I was like constantly, I was like, dude, let's get this done. Like, okay, I'll give you a month.
Yeah.
And then you gotta be better. Like, come on, I'm
Yeah.
sick of this. I don't want to feel like this all the time. It's like so frustrating. Because I know that I have experienced life where I'm not like that all of the time. Like obviously here and there, like things happen. So it's like you're gonna have ups and downs, but the like
Constant.
where you feel like you're
chronic.
not yourself.
Yeah.
Where you feel
For
like you
sure.
can't when you're like in the frozen state. I'm like, okay, I have been in the frozen state before, and it's comforting to know I have been out of the frozen state before because I will get there eventually. I just need to like let this, run its course and just accept that it's happening. And just also in the Dare book, I think the thing that really got me into gardening in general and kept me going on it was it's such a good activity to do when you are spiraling. Because I would just be like, okay, I am spiraling about this situation, this problem. I'm so anxious about it. I cannot, like, I want to just go sit on my phone and, like, try to find reassurance on Google that it's going to be okay or, like, that I'm missing something or whatever. I'm just going to go garden and I'm just going to bring this horrible sinking feeling with me. And it's just going to come gardening with me. Okay, let's go, you stupid, ugly bitch.
Yeah.
If you
Like
insist,
a sad Eeyore. It's like
literally, like if you insist on coming, I guess just like literally come. The Dare workbook, you have it, right? I'm sure.
I read the book, but I didn't do the workbook. But I mean, I did the stuff that he said in the book.
The workbook at the beginning is like a storybook of like this
Oh
guy.
yeah, I've looked at it.
And it's so helpful.
Yeah.
I've literally read it so many times because it's so helpful and just like laying it out.
And he talks about anxiety as like the little monster or something, or to like give it a character. So that way it is more detached from you, where it's not like, I am only anxiety and I've only ever been anxious. It's like, okay, this is something that's visiting.
Yeah.
And now I just have to bring it along with me. So that is really a game changer, because it's not like you're like, okay, I'm going to bring it. Okay, now I'm fixed. It's just like, no, I'm just bringing it and I'm still doing it. And then eventually, sometimes it stays long, sometimes it stays short. It just depends on the day.
Yeah. And I feel like the braver I get, the better it gets too. Like the more I just like try to be brave through things, the better it gets, because I'm like, okay, I can do this really hard thing and I need to show myself I can get through it. And then once I get through it, I'll be like, okay, look, you did it. Like you can do it again. And I think like physically hard things I tend to gravitate towards, because I'm like, I mean, not all the time, but like things that I choose that I want to do physically hard, not necessarily given to me, but like runner's high, things like that, where it's like, okay, I want to feel physical pain almost, and like to overcome that, to like prove to myself it's like a mental workout for me almost, to like, okay,
where your brain's basically telling you to stop, or like, you don't need to do this. What's the point? And then it's like, no, then that's, way you practice just like pushing past that and be like, I don't have to listen to you.
So what's the cure to OCD again?
I mean, you're basically doing the stuff for it. It's just exposures. Like what you were saying is like, yeah, what if the world does explode? Or what if, worst case scenarios happen and it doesn't feel good, but then eventually after the anxiety peaks, it starts to subside where you're just like, oh, okay. And then you kind of like almost are bored. Like, because when I would do exposures to like small things, at first it was like I would peak, but now when I would do the same exposures, I'd be like, I'm bored. I don't even want to do this. Like, I'm not scared. I'm not anything. And that's kind of like
desensitize you to it.
But it does. I talk a lot about courage and bravery because it sounds really dramatic because it's not like we're going to war. But I mean, to the depths of like your experience of being alive, it is a very brave thing, and it does take a lot of courage to overcome anxiety. Thank you for opening up and talking about your anxiety, whatever journey it is. I don't know what the label is, but
I don't either.
Yeah,
I probably need to go to therapy. Now that we're talking about this, I've been thinking about it, but hey. It's a whole thing. You gotta like sign up. It is a whole stuff. I gotta do it though.
But it does feel good. But I think journaling is, for me, literally the most helpful thing in the world. Just like I vomit on everything that I'm worried about, and then I feel like I'm back to neutral and I can be myself. And I'm allowed to feel my feelings when I journal. Yeah. Versus sometimes I'm like, I feel all these things, I don't know where to put it or what to do with it, and I like feel like it's unfair to not process or to not like let it, I don't know, live or something. Which might sound weird. Okay.
Oh, the last thing I will say is I don't know if you, well, probably both said this, or in the Dare book, he talks about basically overcoming the fear of fear. Like one of the things that makes you feel so anxious is you're scared of having a panic attack, which kind of like brings on the anxiety. It's like anxiety, that horrible feeling, is like your fear of feeling fear. Yeah. And so that's also something I try and keep in mind now, which again, I still spiral a lot, but not as much as I was for a while there. Or have like episodes. I feel like when I'm remembering, like, okay, it can still be scary, but I don't have to be scared of feeling scared. Yeah. Like I can just feel scared. I'll just like accept the fact that I'm going to feel scared.
Yeah. Feel scared, do it anyway. Yeah. That's a mom
love her, but leave her wild.
That's not even so close to what we were saying. Okay. Well, we're going to do a Dear Abby, but first I thought it'd be fun if we did a quick game. Sweet. Of who's most likely to. Ooh. Okay, but this is okay. We're playing Who's Most Likely To, but this is Sibling.
Setting up like this.
No, I always slouch.
Okay.
Slouch is welcomed and encouraged on this podcast. This is a sibling edition of Who's Most Likely To. Okay. Okay.
I just say.
Oh, actually. Wait,
or I hold up a hand or something.
I have one more question before we get into the game. Okay. Very serious. Do you ever have to shave your mustache like I do, or am I just the girl in our family that can grow a mustache?
No, I do.
But how often?
When I'm in the sun, it bleaches a little more. Like I've been in the summer, it bleaches a little bit, so I don't notice it as much. But once every couple months. What, you have to do like every day or something?
I am not kidding. I have to shave every other freaking day.
Really?
Yes. I have like a hormone thing or something.
No, because it's your mustache. It's always been like that. That's how I do grow a mustache. Okay. Honestly, sometimes I just leave it like, again, because it's not as dark.
But mine doesn't bleach. Mine's like black. Well, don't look at me.
Well, you don't have one.
Don't look at it now. Don't look at me.
Who's most likely to have a mustache? You.
Me. No, I literally have to shave every other day. And sometimes Keaton's like, oh, your mustache is growing in. I'm like... Okay, well, like if your mustache, you never shave either.
Well, you should let it grow out and bleach it. Then you don't have to shave it anymore.
Okay, I'll make sure to tell Kian not to comment on it. I'm like, you can't even. He's like, I'm not trying to make you feel. I'm like, but just don't comment on it. You can see it. Just don't comment on it.
Nick did comment one time we were dating. He was like, I was getting really close to him, and he was like, mustache. I'm like,
no, the mustache. Oop.
I'm like, okay, you're done. Never say that again.
That is mean. Maybe Kean will feel bad about saying that someday.
Everyone go spam him with hate.
Yeah, that's what we like to do. Okay, who's going back to the game? Yeah. Who is most likely to make mom mad? Who's more likely?
To make her mad?
Yes. And to clarify, this is like growing up. So this isn't necessarily
growing up.
now.
Okay,
I think it's just like, I think it's like historically just,
Me.
you.
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't know what it is. And I'm not even trying to play the victim here, but like I was always the one in the wrong. No matter who I was fighting with, it was somehow always me.
It probably was you though.
Who knows?
Okay.
We'll never know, I guess.
We can never
No,
ask
it would be
anyone.
me. I also am just a little like, I was a way more.
I was very much an
I felt like
obedient.
the
I did
op.
everything by the books. So no
And
one
so
could even
was
get mad
I.
at me.
And Mom, so was I. That's the thing.
I think you also just like were.
I just
you were very
pretended like I
clever,
wasn't, but I was.
and you could kind of clap back with comments.
Yeah, but they're just
Okay.
mean. I was just mean. I wasn't even clever. I think I was just like mean.
They were probably clever. Or else why would they get under
oldest
anyone's
daughters
skin?
understand. You're just out there.
It probably is an older daughter thing. Okay, who's most likely to make dad mad? Me.
I don't think I've ever made dad mad
That's
once
the
in my
thing.
life.
I can't barely think of the time I ever made mom mad.
You're joking that you ever made Mom mad? I'm calling her after this.
No, but
That's
the fact that
crazy.
you think, but I feel like
But
I've
Dad
made,
never got mad at you either.
Me and Dad would like bicker, like fight. And
Really?
I talked to him about this a while ago because I'm like, why do you hate
What
me?
is it about me?
What is it about me, honey? He was like, it's because you're very similar to Mom. Because
Ah.
I'm close to Mom, and like I think maybe how I respond back, like when he would say something, I would comment if I didn't like it, and I don't think he liked that.
That's
Well, not that he
really
wouldn't
funny.
like that. And my dad, like, just so you guys know, our dad never like raised his voice at us. Like
Yeah,
at
I was
least
gonna say getting mad. Like that's why I can't even picture. I'm like, what would be getting mad? Like getting like. That's what I picture.
No, it's more like you're like in a discussion and it's getting like, well,
like frustration.
like frustration.
yeah.
Where it's like we're not aligned, and it's like we're both like more misunderstanding, and it's like, well, it's that type of a thing.
100%. I get that.
Okay, who's more likely to cry during a dinner?
Cry during a dinner? Like what kind of dinner?
Like a holiday dinner, like any dinner. I don't know, with the
Me.
family. Really?
Wait, cry because of like getting picked on or something? Or cry like out of like, oh, I love everyone.
Like I was thinking getting picked on.
Oh, you.
That's why I was like, I feel like that's more so me.
Yeah,
I feel like you now would cry
1,000,000%.
more
Yeah.
because I have no emotions.
Yeah. Love that for you. Yeah, probably.
But I would cry. I feel like,
I
how
just
often would you
deflect.
like run up the stairs? Like I feel like
I would.
I would think I have a million memories of just the feeling of being like, I hate you all, and just like running up the stairs crying and just slamming my door. And be
I
like,
did that.
I hate my family.
I did that plenty of times.
Okay. So then
And
it's
then
probably
like
pretty
they
even.
can't hear you. Like mom hasn't come and checked on you. So you're like getting close to the door.
You open
crying
the
a little
door,
louder.
you close it a little bit harder. You're
Yeah.
like, okay, use the
You're
restroom.
gonna come
You're like,
check on me? You don't even care about me? Double don't care about me?
Okay, who's more likely not to clean up?
Not to clean up
Me.
what? Just in general?
To clean up after yourselves?
You probably.
Okay.
I mean, I don't.
Well, how much stuff would pile up on your step that you would have to take up to your room?
Yeah. Oh, you're saying when we're little again. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is more growing up.
Oh, yeah. I was very messy when I was little too.
I don't remember. I just remember
I would definitely have stuff like shoes. I'm like I still do that. I leave my shoes everywhere. My shoes and socks. Like I take them
Yeah.
off immediately.
I leave my socks everywhere for some reason. I lose them all.
I don't think any of us were really good at picking up after
No,
ourselves. And so
poor
that
mom.
created just an absolute.
Yeah, I
Mayhem.
feel like, gosh, yeah, I don't know. Definitely Jess would never clean up.
Not even now. He would be so bad. He would leave so many wrappers. Like,
Yeah,
just like candy
so
wrappers.
many wrappers. Hundreds of wrappers
Granola
stuffed
bar
in the corner of
wrappers.
his room.
So bad.
The,
Just like,
do you remember the stench of
Polar
like
Pop.
any of our brothers' rooms?
yes, disgusting.
It's so disgusting.
Sometimes I get a whiff of it sometimes. Like just randomly
remember.
at like a thrift shop or something. I'm like, Ooh, that smells like teenage boy
Teenage
nastiness.
boy boogers, like farting.
Ew.
Everything's like staying in that room. You have wrappers of candy, so it's like
Ew.
candy breath. I'm just trying to paint
Disgusting.
a perfect picture of what exact. And the door hasn't been opened in 6 hours, and it's dark because they were playing
Yeah.
Xbox.
Ew, and it's like sweaty.
Ew, ew. Yes, and their hands are sweaty, so their clothes are all
Yeah.
sweaty from wiping off the sweat off their controllers.
That's disgusting.
Okay, who's most likely to have spilled family secrets? You, I feel
Spilled?
like. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
like
100%.
Like mom said something, or someone
Yeah.
said something, and then you like say it at a.
Oh, yeah. I've
something.
done that many times. Like, mom would tell us something, and like she would have to stop me. Like, I'd start telling like our cousin or something. Be like, someone said this. My mom said this. I remember like telling my dance teacher like what my mom said. And mom being
Really?
like, you can't tell everyone what I said. Like, that is not okay.
That's how you lose
I'm
trust.
like, sorry,
That's
shouldn't
funny.
have said it.
Shouldn't have said it.
What?
Who's most likely to be the cool aunt? Like, where our kids, will your kids think I'm cool, or will my kids think you're cool? I feel
You're a
like they'll
pretty
think
cool
you-
aunt.
I think they'll think you're cool, though.
Oh, I mean, what can I say?
Well, because you have more clout. And kids think
they
clout
don't care about that.
They will.
Maybe when they're like for 2 years, when
That's
they're
what I
16
mean,
and
when they're old.
17.
Yeah,
But
that's
not
true.
when they're little. No one gives a rip about that.
No one gets a rip about
Clout.
that. No, when they're older. When they're
You're a
older,
pretty
they would.
fun aunt. I don't
But
think kids
that's
even
the
think about
difference.
cool.
But cool aunt.
I think they would think you're cool.
I think
You
then
like
we
do
could
cool
say it's
stuff.
50-50.
You have cool hair. You have a cool tree in your house.
Okay, thank you. Who's more likely to vent to someone in the family and then hang up? Like,
What do you mean?
you call
Like when I say
them,
bye?
you talk about
Yourself?
something yourself, and then like you kind of just hang up the phone after you end the call very soon after.
It depends with mom. Yeah, I do that all the time. I'm like, yeah, this is
Yeah.
what, and then she's like, oh, and I'm like, okay, I'm feeling better.
All right, thank you for the
Thank
reassurance.
you.
See ya.
Thank you, see ya. No, then I usually give it. Then I'm like, oh, here's that case.
We'll
here's
give
how
you
it was.
5 minutes. We'll give them 5 minutes to talk about
Yeah.
themselves, and then it's kind of even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I usually, well, the thing about me is I'm actually not very vulnerable, like, in terms of my feelings with many people. Like, literally, unfortunately, Nick is the only one who really gets it. And,
Yeah.
like, gets the deepest, darkest depths of my brain.
Right.
Like, I don't really open up to mom that much about it. Like, really, or anyone.
No,
Um,
you don't
when I'm
open
struggling.
up to me either.
No. I mean, I just did.
It's true. First time.
But I have to make sure I'm, like, kind of okay when I do to
What do you
anybody.
mean?
Like, if I'm
Like
going
you're
to open
safe,
up.
or like you're.
Like, I've kind of come out, like, heaven forbid I'm in the midst of something.
Oh, you don't like opening up when you actually
yeah,
are
when I'm
in
actually
the midst.
in the midst.
That's
like,
when I like opening up the most.
It takes a lot. Like, it took, like, me being actually unwell to call mom for the first time when I was having, like, after a lot of these
Really?
anxiety attacks.
That
Yeah.
is so
where
funny.
Nick's like, I think you have to call your mom. And I was just like, no, I know that means this is really bad.
Dang.
Then it felt better. Then I felt better after I did. So then I was like, perfect. I'll do this every time I'm
Nice.
scared.
This works. Okay. Well,
But what do? You ask her, and then you guys both cry and hang up.
yeah. No, I feel like I actually am. I like to talk a lot, but I like to talk a lot about myself when I'm kind of by myself, or when, because
You
I.
like to talk to yourself.
It sounds like
Love that.
It sounds like I talk about myself a lot, but I actually feel like most conversations I ever have, I rarely talk.
No, I don't think you talk about yourself a lot.
I think it's because
Oh my gosh, I thought you caught that.
I thought I caught it
think you
too.
hit it though.
I think I scared it. I gave it a little spanking.
Good.
I feel like I think that I talk about myself a lot because of recording, but
I feel that
Anyways.
way too. But I do talk about myself a lot. I actually was asking ChatGPT, like, okay, I feel like part of my job is having to talk about myself all the time and like having to look for things to talk about myself. And sometimes, which is what makes me good at my job, but it also sometimes, like if I'm just being completely transparent, I have to be aware of like, okay, I need to listen more. Like I actually am a very good listener when I'm being intentional about listening. But sometimes
Yeah.
I'm just like, I think when you're, it's easy when you're stressed and overwhelmed to think and talk about yourself all the time because you're just thinking about yourself because you're trying
Yeah.
to fix everything and you're trying to like, you don't feel like you can even stop thinking about yourself.
Yeah,
Because
I
you're
know
like,
what
well,
you
if I
mean.
stop thinking about myself, everything's going to fall to shit.
Yeah,
So I
have to
sorry,
for work.
Can I cuss on this podcast?
It's not.
Does
They
Mom
never hear
listen?
it from me, but you can cuss.
If I like stop thinking about all of my
Yeah.
things. So I've really had to step back from that and be like, okay, stop thinking about yourself so much and it's going to be okay. You can put a pause on this. And also sometimes when because of social media, you probably feel like this sometimes too, maybe. If someone like follows you or like listens to your podcast or something, but they don't have a podcast or they don't really post, and you like see them and you're talking to them, it feels so, I don't know what to do with that situation. I'm like, they're asking me all these questions and I'm like, how do you even know that? Like it's,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
they know that I just had, like my birthday trip or something. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel bad that I don't even know when your birthday is. I feel bad even asking you when your birthday is. Like,
yeah, because you feel like, well, yeah,
I
yeah,
should
know
know
what you
more
mean.
about you, but I don't. So this feels at a disadvantage. So now I feel like I'm just answering questions about myself, but like I don't even know how to.
Yeah.
It's socially weird. I don't
It
know how to
is.
like. Anyways, that's something I actually am working on,
Is
despite
to
me
clock-
talking
ba-
the
basically-
entire time this episode.
Well, that's what this episode's supposed to be. When I have people on, I try not to talk too much because that's what it is every episode that I talk. But it's just clocking in and out, basically. You're like, okay, I'm going to clock in, talk about myself. And then once you're done with that and you're like, okay, I'm not like working,
yeah,
then I got to clock out and just like
Yeah.
shift my mind.
Yeah.
Basically is probably what it is. I'm the kind of person that if I call someone and I start talking about myself, other than mom, because I talk to mom about everything, but if I talk to my friends, like I don't like talking about myself to my friends.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing where I'm like, I don't even want to share anything. Like I just want to ask, and I will listen and whatever you need. But like once it turns on me, I like don't like it actually.
yeah.
Yeah,
I could
don't
see
know.
that.
But with some people, I enjoy it very much. Okay, and then two more. Who's more likely to send an emotional text out of nowhere?
An emotional text,
Like a random, like, hey, I love you so much.
huh? Neither of
Neither.
us. I don't think that exists.
No, I don't think I don't think I've sent you anything like that.
No, you have.
I
You definitely have.
Oh.
Yeah. I think it just certain times.
Yeah. I think it's neither or
That's
both.
to be saved for special occasions, because if you're doing it all the time, it's like it starts to feel
lose its
weird.
value.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I feel like that. Yeah, we never do that. Okay, last one is who's more likely to bring up politics or hot topics at like a family get together?
Oh, probably me.
I would
I don't
say
know.
you.
You do too.
I feel like I've gotten more brave lately.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, actually, I don't think that.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't agree with what you just said.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about that.
After like us, but speaking of leaving the table crying, like that's when I start to be like, okay, I'm 30. Like I need to learn how to do this in like a,
not storming out and
yes,
crying.
not storming, like
for sure.
so unproductive way. So
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes
I feel like our brothers.
yeah,
Okay, well those are all of the who's most likely to.
nice.
Okay, well, that's gonna be it for today's episode.
These lights are kind of hot.
Yeah, they do. They
Wow,
also
I'm
just
sweating.
feel like
Getting interrogated.
Yeah, a little bit. That's it for today's episode, you guys, of Dear Abby. Chelsey, thanks for being on. Any last words? Where can people find you? Where can people buy your tour tickets? She's going on tour.
Come visit us on tour. It's going to be a lot of fun. You can find me, Chelsey Jade Curtis, any platform. You can buy our tickets if you go to my Instagram or the What We Said Instagram, What We Said podcast. You'll see them there.
Okay, cool. Well, we don't have any outro like you guys do.
And
I just go,
dearest Abby.
No, I go, love you, bye. And then I go like this.
Love you.
I had
Bye.
Bye.
우회전 taking a ride to journey 눈치 보면서 들어가야 할 때 찾아 나머진 바빠 개설레임 바꾸는 사람